Hello there. This will be another video, and that's what it is. And I want to dive into this awakening. You know, this is kind of like therapy for me, I guess, when I'm talking about the spiritual awakening, because, you know, this obviously was a massive experience, and when I do these videos, it's, you know, it might look like I'm the healer, but to me, it's doing this that is very healing for me. You know, because, you know, talking about this amazing experience that's still going on. You know, it wasn't a case of having one experience led to relentless experiences. And, you know, the truth of the matter is no one is coming to save you. It's an illusion. Even if you think that that is the case, even if someone came along and saved you, you think they've saved you, what is that telling your mind? What are you then telling yourself? You're then telling yourself subconsciously and consciously as well, you're saying to yourself that I am not good enough on my own. I need some external thing or person to make me better. That I am good enough on my own. And this is a very self-destructive way of thinking. So this is why you must heal yourself. And this is why it's so important to heal yourself and to not need outside things. And to know that you're creating your reality, because it's self-satisfactory to know this. And it's very healing to know that you've done this yourself. But even if someone does come along and does miraculously heal you, they've not actually healed you. What they've done is left you with yourself telling yourself, you're telling yourself that I need this healer, I'm not good enough on my own. And this is a very self-destructive way of thinking. But these healers know this. If these healers know about subconscious minds and how it works, they'll know that you're telling yourself that, but that's what they want. The real healers will tell you what I'm telling you. Will tell you that it's very important to heal yourself, because of what we're always telling our minds something, whether or not you're aware of it or not. You're always telling yourself something, right? Whatever you do is a message going into you in your psyche. And this is why it's so important to heal yourself. And because whether or not you healed yourself or not, you're still giving your brain a message. And when someone else is responsible for your well-being, you're then telling yourself, I need this external person. I am not enough. I have a self-suggestion that I do every day, and I say, I am enough. And that's such a beautiful way to look at yourself. To even try that in a world that is telling us to look externally. And this is why I've got so much, you know, self-respect now, where before this spiritual journey I never had any self-belief really, and self-love and stuff like that. And because people always make you feel bad for doing that. The world tries to make us feel bad for if we love ourselves. And why is that? You know, ideas don't just get there by themselves. You know, it's like we were once, they say, in a golden age of spirituality. And then it changed. Now, that doesn't happen by accident. There would have been a perceptual change. So to have a perceptual change, someone engineered that. And that's really what's going on in reality. When you wake up, you realize that there is a trick being played on humanity. And that trick is to make them perceive reality in a certain way, like everything's a disaster. And this awakening has actually showed me that it's actually perfect. It's actually perfect if you look at it that way. But if you look at it like it's not perfect, it's not perfect. And this is why we've got problems in the world and 5G and all this crazy stuff, because of the energy of the masses. The energy of the masses dictates the system. because everything goes by energy and emotion, and that manifests itself in the current system we have. It's all to do with energy. That's what the matrix is. The matrix is a real thing, but it's an energy system. And that's really what it is, and that's what everything is. But there is a perceptual manipulation taking place. And the question is, how did that happen? How did that happen? Well, it would have had to have, even demonic is an energy. So what I believe happened is, I think that someone or some people were going off their natural energy in this golden age, and something happened to manifest the demonic energy, because you attract what you are based on your energy. So everything, the truth is that everything comes from us. We're the core of everything. We are the all. And we have manifested the separate demonic system. And the global awakening, what it's doing is it's helping people to understand, those that have had unexpected spiritual awakenings and people on a very spiritual path. It's helping them, this awakening is helping them realize that they create their reality. And so we're getting more educated and aware that we create our own reality, and therefore the reality is changing into a reality that is more sovereign, that is more co-creator, and realizing that there's no disasters. We get told what to think, we get told what to feel. That's the way that it is. We get told what we are. No one lets us make our own minds up. That's it. As soon as you're born, your parents are brainwashing you. School, education system, universities, TV, internet. And this is what a person calls the self. This is what they think they are. Everything that they've been told by other people that have went through the same process. So it's really, normality is actually madness, really. It's actually insane. You can't expect your son or daughter to do any better than you, because they're just going to copy you. You're their idol. And this is the thing. That's why I speak a lot about women, non-conscious women that just breed because of boredom. Because I've knew people like this. I've quite a lot of women that just are not happy, really, so they just breed, or they do something else. It's just like a refuge away from themselves. But this can also be a good thing in one sense, because when you take refuge in something, when you experience your desires, that can actually give you insight into why you're doing it. This is why it's very important to experience your desires, because you're doing it for a higher purpose. And then when you're doing this for that higher purpose, you're really healing. That's the most important thing, is to do things for your highest good and your highest purpose. And then desires, when you're high, that's what's happening. This is why, it's not that drugs are the monster, but it's the perceptions that's the problem. Money isn't the monster. It's perceptions that's the problem. I talk about money, but I talk about I talk about the financial system, how it's dictating everything from the top. But money in general, I don't think is evil, as long as everybody's aware of how to get it. I just don't like the idea of a system at the top having everything and people starving lower down. I would class that as evil. But I believe that we can live in a world where everyone has plenty. That is possible. And that's why this global awakening is important, to help everyone get what they want and be happy. But then once you start to get what you want, this is what happened to me in this awakening, you start to become more present. And then you let go of all these wants. Like, I don't get depressed anymore. I don't drink alcohol anymore. There's certain more other things that I've give up. And it's all because the awakening showed me to not run. It showed me to accept myself just as I am, and made me aware of how I'm creating my reality, and how that it's all perfect because I'm choosing to see it as it's perfect. Everything's how we see things, our perceptions again. And so being aware of this, you gain this self-awareness, and that's really what spiritual awakening is. It's just some people the people that have the natural awakenings, the unexpected spiritual awakenings, reach a point in depression where the animal instinct comes out. But you can do it right now. You don't have, maybe these people that went through this path were meant to go through that pain so that you wouldn't have to. And so that all you have to do to get this infinite abundance, this awakening path, is to simply, let that animal in you come out. Trust your inner guidance. That's what real faith is. Real faith is trusting that inner voice, that inner feelings that you've got, and going with that. Women that are breeding all the time, they're not really doing that. They're just fed up. Same with the men. This is why, I wouldn't allow myself to be in a situation like that, because I've got too much respect for myself. I'm doing this path right now for the children. I'm being more of a parent than probably most parents are, because they're just breeding. But the level of parenting that they should be the level of what I think God is, which is Gaia, which is a motherly force that mothers all life. When I see a woman and a baby, I imagine Gaia. But it's not always that kind of level of love. You can't blame the women because they're perceptually programmed to chase things all the time, chase this new man or something, and this is the problem. Because the love that the women have within them is the love they're giving to their children. So that's why the most important thing in life at this time is your healing and ascension process. Understand that you have to go on your own journey within. Everything's within. And don't let anybody tell you that you're bad for doing something, or if you want to do something, do it. Do what you feel. Too many people that are brainwashed are trying to impose that on you and tell you, oh, you're bad, you shouldn't be doing this. And don't buy into it. Do what you feel is right for you, and live by your own rules. I refuse to conform to what other people think I should be, because that's not living. And this is what people need to do. Imagine if everybody lived this way of being sovereign. Imagine if everyone in the world was like this. Imagine what their children would grow up to be, because of the influence of that kind of parent. That's a different level. And so that's what this awakening is bringing forward. It's making people realize that we are all co-creators on this planet. We are all here to make the best difference that we possibly can for the future generations. And to be honest with what you feel, because when you're honest about what you feel, even if it's sadness, this is how you heal. This is why I haven't had depression for nearly 5 years now, because I started to face my emotions, and we face that in stillness is our true emotions, how you feel about yourself within. And when you're focusing upon that, right, and you open up to it ever so slightly, you gain insight into yourself. Like Rumi once said, the cure for pain is in the pain. And I'm just going to leave it on that note. And if you're watching, you're meant to watch it. Everything falls to divine order and divine timing. You are a divine warrior. Everything is within. Thank you for watching.